Good morning once again, and we are out here again on an absolutely beautiful day, and by beautiful I mean dark, overcast, and raining, all right? So we'll have to go see Coach Johnny in Florida sometime soon or move down there permanently. Having said that, guys, today we're going to be talking about what you guys are all here for. Today we're going to be giving you guys the video that all of you guys have been waiting for, everybody wants to hear. And what is that? Today we are going to be talking about drugs. Now, when I say drugs, that title's a little misleading because when I say drugs, I mean hormones. Hormones, there are a difference. There is obviously a difference between drugs and hormones. So now I'm going to tell you guys what we're going to be doing for this series, Become Invincible, okay? For SUPERMALE, for Become Invincible, and taking the human body, taking your body, my body, whatever your God-given genetics, to the absolute steady state peak. That is the key. We are bulking and we are cutting at the same exact time. We're going to get as big as humanly possible and we're going to get as lean as possible at the same time. Achieving, and this is the key word again, we're achieving the peak steady state for your body, okay? Again, Sam Sulek, all of these guys, they're doing bulk, then they cut. Then they bulk and they cut. And don't forget, the human body is not a robot, okay? It is a living organism, okay? So it's harder on the body to go up, to go down, to go up, to go down, to do this yo-yo thing. It's the same thing with hormones, same thing with fat loss, with muscle gain, with everything. So not only is it healthier and better for you to do something like I'm talking about where you're not doing these dramatic shifts, yo-yos, but it's also better for progress, okay? But that's not what we're talking about today. I'm showing you guys how to do this. This is, again, one wild ride, but this is not what we're talking about today, all right? So guys, Seth Spartan here, nutrition, training, and hormone expert for Prometheus HRT, Hormone Replacement Clinic. Let's get into it. Let's talk drugs and more specifically hormones. Here we go. All right, so here we are. What do you guys need to know? We are doing testosterone replacement, HGH replacement, meat-only diet, and AMF training. Those four things make up this series, Become Invincible. Boom. And obviously we got the shirt on, the SUPERMALE shirt on. It says all the four things on the back. It's pretty sick. And this shirt is now available at SethSpartan.com. So if you want to follow along, and even if you can't do all four, you just want to do your best, please get a shirt, follow along, let's party. Having said that, this is what we're going to be doing specifically for testosterone and HGH replacement. Testosterone cypionate, a total of 250 milligrams per week. Okay, this puts me up in the range I want to be in. 1,000 to 1,500 total testosterone level, and I've said this over and over. This is what you need, boom, to be at your best, be at your peak for a male. You know, the range varies depending on where you live and which testing labs. Some are higher, some are lower, but here's the gist of it, and this is where I get this, well, this is where any good doctor worth his salt is going to get this number from, right? If you are an 18-year-old male with good genetics who's eating healthy, he's not eating Pop-Tarts and sugar and drinking Mountain Dew all day. If he's eating the way he should, steak, eggs, lower carbs, not slamming tons of carbs, his testosterone level should be 1,200, period, easily, okay? So that's what we want to replace back to. We want to replace back to 18. Having said that, I know guys, okay, that are 100% natural around 1,400, 1,500, but I have never seen a male. I can't tell you how many people's blood works I've seen or reviewed. I've never seen a natural male go over 1,500. So that's where I personally draw the line between steroids and replacement, okay? And logically so. So having said that, we're doing testosterone replacement to the very peak, and we're holding there. For me, that's 250 milligrams of testosterone cypionate per week, and that puts me at around, I think it's 1,300, okay? So you guys know where my total T level is at. Okay, so anyways, so that's what we're doing for testosterone replacement. I guess I can tell you guys injection frequency and everything else. I personally, Seth Spartan, I feel my best when I do everyday injections or every other day injections with an insulin syringe. If I'm doing everyday injections, I'm doing 30 gauge 5/16, and I'll do that all around my calf, my calf to my shin region, my outer calf to shin region. So if you imagine, if this is my here's my two legs, I'm doing from the front all the way around to this half, never the inside. There's just too many veins, okay? And so that's what I do. That's what I personally do. You can do this wherever you feel comfortable, though. So I'm doing every day or every other day injections to get to the 250 milligrams per week, and that's where I personally feel my best. I feel the most stable in terms of, there's no fluctuations, especially with the testosterone cypionate, okay? And I know I have to do an injection video for you guys, show you guys where to do your hormone replacement, okay, and where I like to do it. Otherwise, you can do the middle of the thigh as well. And why not the outer thigh? Because you don't want to create scar tissue right where you have your nice, beautiful striations, okay? And that's another reason why to use insulin. As long as you're not super fat, that's another reason to use your insulin syringes over these daggers that the doctors are taught, 20 years ago when they went to school to use. You don't have to use them. You can use insulin syringes as long as you're not super fat. All right, guys, let's move on to HGH replacement. What are we doing? So for HGH replacement, I currently do not qualify for typical, regular, synthetic HGH because my levels are too high, okay? My standard IGF-1 level is about, with nothing, is about 240, which isn't super good, but isn't super bad. And for reference, the only way to effectively track HGH level is by testing IGF-1. Anybody who's advanced knows this. And the second thing that, pay attention to this, guys, this is a big point. The second big thing is that if you're 18-year-old male with good genetics, eating how you should be clocking at between 300 to 400 IGF-1. So again, we don't want to replace to 30, we want to replace to 18. So what I personally do to do this, right, because I want to get back to my peak, okay, and the HGH replacement, guys, here's a big secret. It makes the testosterone replacement not only feel and seem a lot stronger, but it also gives you greater benefit from the testosterone, okay? HGH is responsible for basically, it makes your body replace cells faster, which means that you also have a higher sensitivity to what? Testosterone. Your androgen receptor sites upregulate from use of HGH. And we're not talking abuse here for both testosterone or HGH. We're talking replacement through a doctor, through a clinic. Boom, okay? So anyways, let's keep going. So for HGH replacement, what I personally do is I'm going to do CJC 1295. This is the DAC version. I do anywhere from 400 to 500 micrograms MCG per day. And that's what I personally, not only do I feel my best and I personally like, but that's what gets me to where I want to be, okay? So the two things we're going to be doing, guys, and again, all this stuff is available at Prometheus HRT, boom, through your doctor, or through my doctor if you come to our clinic that becomes our doctor, or you can go to some other clinic, okay? There's a lot of good clinics finally coming up. None are good in the Midwest. The Midwest is in the Stone Age. Everybody knows that. California, Florida, and Texas are kind of the leaders in hormone replacement right now. But what was I going to say? Okay, so to sum things up, what I'm doing is 250 milligrams testosterone cypionate per week. That puts me around 1,300-ish. And I'm doing HGH replacement with CJC 1295 DAC, 400 to 500 MCG per day. Probably I'm going to be around more closer to 400, just because I've been taking it for a while, so it's built up in my system. I don't need to take so much. And this is where I would end the video, but one last thing I want to say, I can significantly increase my HGH level because I take melatonin. Melatonin significantly increases HGH level because it takes off the limiter, so to speak, of HGH release. When melatonin, okay, here's a great medical study for you guys. They took growth hormone releasing peptides with and without melatonin. They found that they released about, 50% to even double the amount of HGH when taken with melatonin. So what I can tell you guys is for the biggest bang per your buck, not only use melatonin, use the nature-made stuff that's the highest quality if you live in the US. In other countries, you need a prescription for melatonin because melatonin is not a supplement, it's a hormone, okay? Again, I don't know who in the FDA decided that it was a supplement when it is a hormone secreted by your pineal gland in your brain. But that's outside of it's outside of me. But what you want to do is you want to take your melatonin, and then in the morning, or if you get up in the middle of the night, then take your HGH replacement so you can get a much bigger pulse. You'll save more money and you'll get more benefit. And melatonin's good for keeping blood pressure lower. So guys, those are my three supplements my three hormones that I'm taking: testosterone cypionate, CJC 1295 DAC, and I'm taking melatonin, nature-made brand, anywhere from 5 to 15 milligrams. I've worked up a bit of a tolerance to that stuff. And with melatonin, use what you need, don't use more. Again, melatonin is not a supplement, it is a hormone. Anybody, again, most of my viewers are outside of the US, so you'll need to go to your doctor and say, hey, I'd like a melatonin prescription. If you live in the US, you can go to Walgreens or CVS or anywhere else. Guys, that's Spartan. Stay safe, stay healthy. This is day 3. Boom. Showing you guys how to become invincible, how to become super male, achieve your goals, be the best man you can, and just get to the peak. And one thing I want to tell people, that there's so much to talk about, guys, but this needs to be said. People have this idea that testosterone makes men angry. I think this is some sort of flawed garbage that comes from steroids. Testosterone is not steroids. Steroids were altered testosterone. That's what steroids are. They're testosterone that scientists played with. They altered. They made into derivatives. But here's the point. Testosterone makes men happy. Testosterone makes men happy. It makes them feel good. Okay? Yes, if you take 10 times what a normal male has, yeah, you can have some anger issues. But the reason for that is because you're screwing up your hormone balance in your human body. Okay? Look at who the angriest, most upset, most unhappy males are. They're elderly men who have low testosterone and high estrogen. Hence, their hormones are all screwed up, and that makes them angry. It's the same thing with women. You can have a girl that's nice, and she goes on hormonal birth control, and she's mean because her hormone levels are screwed up. So that's what I want you guys to, and it crashes her testosterone too. But that's what I want you guys to, who don't know much about hormone replacement. Testosterone makes men feel good. They feel happy. Look at who the happiest guys are. When you're a teenager, you're hopefully, as long as things, things are okay, most teenage boys are happy. They got high HGH, high testosterone, they're happy. And then, when you're an old man, your testosterone goes to 0, you're upset and you don't feel good. Why? Because you don't feel good, all right? Testosterone makes you happy if you're a man. Guys, that's it. It's Spartan. Stay safe, stay healthy. That's day 3, all right? We're going to keep the series coming. We're out of here.